You're losing friends, losing opportunities, losing comfort. You can't explain why. But what if God isn't punishing you? He's protecting what He's building in you. Isolation isn't exile. It's construction. Rejection can be protection and training. It does not feel kind, but it is careful. When plans fall apart, it may be God placing you where growth can happen. There is a reason the calls stopped, and it will surface soon. Friends begin to drift without a word. Messages slow, then stop, and you pretend you do not care. You refresh your phone and act fine in public. You chase old contacts who once replied fast, and they say they are busy. Then a group photo appears without you, and your name is not even tagged. You think you did something wrong. Another thought arrives and asks for space. Maybe the empty calendar is not failure, but a clear signal. If the constant activity is gone, you can hear your own heart again. At night, one quiet idea returns again and again. Then it gets worse. A second job offer falls through after the final call. Your bank account drops, and your pride drops with it. You borrow money from someone you hoped never to ask. A last email arrives with one word: decline. You sit on the floor with the bills and breathe in short bursts. You feel small and alone. You say little prayers because long words feel false. The Bible says, "The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Psalm 34:18. You wait for help that has not come yet, but then you stop running to fix things for one day. You choose a quiet room and sit with no phone and no music. You say, "God, I am here, even if I feel lost." The Bible says, "In quietness and trust is your strength." Isaiah 30:15. A sentence forms inside you, and it changes your next move. You make a simple plan for the quiet place. You set a time, sit down, breathe, and stay for 10 minutes. You write one honest page about what hurts and what you fear. You read one short verse and speak to God with plain words. You take one walk without headphones and let your mind settle. Here is the sharp truth. This lonely period is not a sentence against you. It is training for your voice, your patience, and your strength. Isolation can be God's tool for change, not a sign you failed. Accept it, and power returns to your hands. Many strong lives began in quiet places. David spent years with sheep before he led people, and Joseph waited in prison before he served a nation. Choose to honor God in your quiet time today, even if feelings lag. Stay in the inner room until clarity comes. With every option closed, only the inner room remains. What feels like rejection can be God using night hours to teach you. You lost plans, friends, and comfort, and now sleep avoids you. It looks like punishment, but it can be preparation for real purpose. A simple detail is hiding in this silence, and it will appear soon. You try the usual fixes, and they fail again and again. You scroll, you pace, you change sides again and again. You start a prayer, but the words feel dry and heavy. Old fears speak on repeat, and a small habit quietly makes them louder. Silence does not always mean that God is absent. Sometimes God uses quiet to invite honest trust. Psalm 56:3 says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you." Your thoughts slow for a moment, and the old fear loses a little ground. Something small just shifted, and you cannot name it yet, but the body fights back, and the night pulls you into worry. You think about lost chances, and your chest feels tight. You reach for the phone again, and one message reopens a deep wound. Then the panic starts. It is 2 a.m, and your room feels small. You sit on the floor and say the same sentence, "Help me." No answer comes, and the minutes pass slowly with no sign of relief. You whisper nothing, and it feels final. But then your breath steadies, and your jaw unclenches a little. In the deepest quiet, a softer sound begins. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still, and know that I am God." You do not hear many words, but you sense a calm instruction to wait. The instruction is unfinished, and it pulls you to stay. Start small, and act with your body so your mind can follow. Place the phone in another room, sit upright, and plant both feet. Breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 6, and repeat until your shoulders drop. Say a simple line out loud, "I trust you," and read one short verse twice. Here is the sharp truth you need to keep. Isolation is not punishment, and God uses quiet to build strength. You learn focus, courage, and simple words in this slow place. You walk out with a steady mind that cannot be pushed around. I have seen this change in people who chose to stay and listen. Luke 5:16 says that Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. When you accept the night as training, you return to people with clear steps and calm strength. In the deepest quiet, a softer sound begins. What felt like rejection may be God's protection and training. The silence that scared you may be the safest place. The message is simple and stubborn. Be still. It keeps returning for a reason you have not learned yet. You tried to outrun the quiet with noise. You scrolled, called friends, and stayed busy late. You prayed quick words and moved on fast. You treated isolation like a punishment to escape. Then a crack in your thinking showed. A stranger smiled and said, "Take your time. You are okay." The wind outside matched the line in your mind. Be still. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still, and know that I am God." If you fight this season, your mind grows tired and your heart grows hard. You spend energy proving yourself and miss what God wants to say. Fear grows when you refuse to listen. Then everything went quiet at once. You sat on the floor and watched the phone battery die. The room was plain and still, and the tears came. Names stopped calling back, and the door of one job closed. You felt empty and waited for the next blow. But then the line rose again, gentle and firm. Be still. You took one slow breath and did not run. A kind word from a stranger calmed your nerves. The quiet did not feel empty. It felt safe. Start with a small practice. Sit in a chair for 5 minutes and breathe slowly. Say the words "be still" out loud. Then stay quiet. Read one verse. Thank God for one real thing, and listen. Leave your phone in another room, and take a short walk after. Here is the edge you needed. Isolation is holy, not punishment. God uses stillness to build a clear voice and a steady heart. Silence gives direction. It does not take life from you. I saw this change in a friend who lost a job and 3 close friends. He stopped chasing noise and sat in the quiet each morning. Luke 5:16 says, Jesus often withdrew to a lonely place and prayed. Choose 5 minutes tonight and treat the quiet like a meeting with God. If this is not a prison, maybe it is a room for healing. What felt like rejection was protection and training. Isolation looked like loss, but it prepared you. You are at the point where you face what was never said. There is a way to face it that changes you, and it is close. You used noise to stay safe. You scrolled, kept busy, and stayed late at work. You said you were fine, but your body felt tight and tired. One night, the phone died, and the house went quiet. In the quiet, old pain rose and asked to be heard. Memories of shame, pride, and fear stepped into view and waited. You noticed how hiding kept the wound open and raw. A small sentence formed in your chest, and it waited. When you refuse truth, the cost grows. Your relationships feel thin. Your sleep breaks, and your joy drops. You react fast, then feel guilt, then repeat it again. Then the mirror caught your eyes. Bleeding well, lang guilt, one is where jullie pruden schutsribbel thor. In 12 thins, you were dam said for field one not. When die late falmans willie hoping when I carens, but then to blung see beul quitcher. You stood there and saw your real face, not the trained smile. You spoke the truth out loud, even when your voice shook. Tears came, and your body let go of long tension. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is near to the broken-hearted." You named what happened without excuses, and the weight changed. You admitted pride and fear, and you asked God for help. You breathed slowly and stayed with the feeling until it passed. The room stayed simple, but your heart found steady ground. Keep the process simple. Sit in a quiet place for 10 minutes without a phone, and breathe. Write one hard sentence about what hurts, and read it to God. Speak it out loud, ask for mercy, and forgive yourself as an act of trust. If needed, tell a trusted person the same sentence, and let your body rest. Here is the sharp truth. Hiding keeps you stuck, but honesty moves pain out. Tears do not mean failure, they mean release. Facing the unsaid clears what blocks your heart. You are not alone in this path. Luke 5:16 says, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. I remember a winter when I sat in silence and said one hard line, and then I slept for the first time in weeks. Do the same tonight. Sit, breathe, and speak the words you avoid. Once emptied, the heart can be filled, and what fills it will surprise you. Rejection can feel like punishment, but it may be protection. The quiet you fear may be training. You are not being pushed away. You are being prepared. There is a way to enter this season with peace, and it starts sooner than you think. Most people fight the quiet. You fill the hours with messages, news, and tasks. You push against long nights and call it strength. You plan more, talk more, and still feel less sure. The change starts when you see the noise does not help. Relief arrives for a moment after one still minute, and nothing breaks. You start to think this stillness is an invitation, not a threat. You pause before reaching for your phone. If you keep resisting, the cost grows. You sleep less, and small problems feel huge. Relationships strain, and your work loses focus. Then the offer you counted on disappears without warning. The lowest point arrives in a simple scene. You sit on the floor and stare at the wall. No plan makes sense, and your chest feels heavy. You whisper nothing, because words feel false. But then you stop fighting. You set a small rhythm that honors the season. Prayer at dawn, a walk at noon, silence at night. Your breath slows, your mind clears, and the room feels holy. You whisper, "Do your work in me." Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still, and know that I am God." Keep it simple and steady. Leave your phone in another room at dawn. Then pray one honest line. Walk at noon and name what you feel with plain words. Sit in silence at night for 10 minutes, and end with thanks. Luke 5:16 states that Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Here is the core truth you must face. Surrender is not quitting. It is agreement with God's timing. You choose trust over control, and you grow stronger from that choice. Isolation is training, not punishment. It will ask you to release even the timeline you wanted. I saw this in a friend who kept this rhythm for 40 days. The fear did not vanish fast, but their thoughts became clear, and their words grew simple and strong. Opportunities returned months later, and they entered them with a steady heart. Begin tonight with 10 quiet minutes and that one line, "Do your work in me." After surrender comes training. It felt like people left you, and chances ended at the same time. But the quiet started to shape you in ways you did not expect. Small daily actions became your training, even if they looked boring at first. There is a rule that makes these actions powerful, and it comes soon. Many people try a big change for one day, then stop for a week. You say yes to every message, and your focus breaks again and again. You skip meals, sleep late, and forget the small tasks that build strength. The day fills with noise, and you end it empty and annoyed. Soon, a simple test will show the cost. One morning you open a plain notebook and write one honest line about today. You sit in silence for 5 minutes without music or screens or extra talk. You notice your thoughts slow down, and you breathe with care and patience. The noise was not comfort, it was weight you carried without knowing. Your own words sound new, and you want to hear them again. Old patterns fight back when you make space and start to say no. A friend calls with plans that pull you off your focus and your schedule. One missed day becomes 3, and guilt grows until you doubt this new path. Sleep breaks, and your mind shakes, and the body feels jumpy and weak. Then a call comes with an offer you are not ready for. You say yes too fast and feel weak in the meeting that follows. Your notes are thin, your words shake, and your mind goes blank again. Shame aches in your chest and lasts through the night until morning. You stare at the ceiling and hate the noise you let back in. You promise this will not happen again, but you do not know how. But then you choose a simple path, and repeat it with care each day. You journal each morning, say no to old noise, and do one small task well. Your body steadies, and your mind clears, and your mood stays even. A verse guides you. Whoever is faithful with little is faithful with much. From Luke chapter 16 verse 10. Soon, the change becomes visible in your choices, your sleep, and your speech. Write 3 lines each morning about what you feel and what you will do. Place your phone in another room for 1 hour, and close every screen. Practice a skill with your hands for 20 minutes, like cooking, sketching, or playing scales. Drink water, eat simple food, and keep a set bedtime to protect your energy. Note 1 clear yes and 1 clear no each day, and keep both. Here is the truth that ends the guessing and clears your mind. Growth is not one big day, because one big day fades too fast. Growth lives in small daily work done with care and done on time. Isolation is not punishment when you use it well and keep your plan. It is preparation, and your steady voice and steady body confirm it. After 90 days, the pages fill, your hands move with skill, and your voice holds calm. A friend asks how you changed, and you point to the small work done daily. An opportunity appears, and this time your body feels steady and ready to serve. Start today with 1 line, 1 task, and 5 quiet minutes without a screen. Strength makes room for purpose, and your next step is almost here. What felt like rejection was actually protection and training for your future work. In the quiet today, a name begins to form for your calling. You start to see what you must build, and why it matters. Keep listening, because the next detail will surprise you. At first, you try to fix the loss by staying busy. You ask many people for advice, and you change plans each week. You scroll, compare, and try to copy what seems to work for others. The noise grows louder than your own voice. Then the silence catches you by surprise during a normal afternoon drive. You pause, and a new thought breaks through your old path. Maybe this quiet is not punishment, but a clean place to hear. You notice a small word inside you that does not agree with your fear. If you ignore this, you risk years of wasted time and regret. You keep saying yes to things that drain you, and your strength fades. You grow bitter toward people who move ahead, and your faith feels weak. Then a clear idea forms in the quiet, simple and hard to dismiss. One night you sit alone and accept that the old plan has failed. The calls stop, the invites end, and your body feels heavy with stress. I remember sitting on the floor with my phone dark and my hope low. I whispered that I had nothing left to give. But then, in prayer, a clear picture arrives without force or drama. You see who you are, and what you must build next. You feel less afraid, because the steps look simple and real. It matches this line, "Be still, and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. You choose a set time each day to sit, listen, and write the words you hear. Keep your phone in another room, and keep your notes plain and honest. Name the calling in 1 short line, then plan 1 small action this week. Share it with 1 trusted person who knows your character and will pray. As you do this, more detail arrives day by day. Here is the truth that changes your next step in a real way. Clarity is not a feeling. It is a decision to agree with God. When you name the work, fear loses power over you. You are not lost. You are assigned. I have watched people carry quiet months and then write 1 clear sentence. They followed it with steady steps, and opportunities appeared that effort did not create. It fits this command. Write the vision. Make it plain. Habakkuk 2.2. Say the name of your calling aloud, and take 1 honest step today. Then, one day, a door opens. The air feels new. What looks like acceptance can test your growth. The offer looks like progress, yet it feels like the past. You face a choice that will move you forward or pull you back. The moment is public, and your answer will reveal your change. There is 1 detail in the room that will make the truth clear. Most people say yes fast to stay liked. They laugh at old jokes and avoid hard words. They agree to tasks that drain them, just to keep a seat. You did this before, and it left you tired. In the quiet, You learned a new way. Approval felt good, but peace did not follow it. You saw that hurry makes you weak. The new you waits, listens, and answers with care. If you rush now, the cost will be high. Old patterns will return, like late nights, hidden stress, and words you do not mean. Your purpose will blur, and your sleep will break. Then the call comes from the one who once used your trust, and they say your name in that old tone. Their next line will try to control your choice. You sit across from them, and the room watches your face. They praise you, then press you, and your throat feels tight. You nod and accept things you do not believe, and shame grows by the minute. Jesus said, "Let your yes be yes and your no, no." Matthew 5:37. But then you remember the quiet hours that rebuilt you. You remember how peace filled your chest when you chose slow answers. You choose to breathe, lift your head, and ask for time. The mood shifts in the room, and a few eyes narrow, yet you do not move. A simple truth forms in you, and it stays firm. Here is how you stand firm without rage. Pause before you answer, even for 1 hour, and write what this would cost your time, your values, and your peace. Check 3 things. Does it honor your calling? Does it ask you to hide? Does it rush your timeline? Speak one clear line, such as, "Thank you. I am not available for this." And if a meeting is needed, set terms with a clear scope, a fair rate, and an end date, and bring a trusted friend to sit with you. Here is the core truth. The invitation is not your reward. It is your test. You do not trade your yes for approval, and your no is not a threat. You do not return to who you were. You step into who you are. I sat in a room like this and felt the old pressure. They offered a title and applause, and I thanked them and said no. The room went quiet. One person laughed, and I stayed calm. People noticed the difference, and new chances came that fit my values. When your call comes, stand calm, speak clear, and walk out with peace, because the next meeting will be quiet and real. What felt like rejection was training. The quiet that once scared you became a teacher. After the quiet, your voice sounded true, and people felt it. A small moment proved it, and it changed your future. You used to rush to fill the space. You said yes to every invite, posted often, and worked late. You feared that silence would make you miss your chance. You tried to prove your worth with noise. Then something shifted. You spoke slowly in one meeting, and the room grew calm. A person said, "That helped me," and you felt a steady peace. Then a message arrived from someone you never expected. The stakes rose fast. If you returned to the old pace, you would lose your peace, your sleep, and your strength. The message asked for a quick answer, and the offer looked big. You said, "I need 1 day," and risked losing it. Another day you did not pause, and you paid the price. You pushed hard, snapped at a friend, and sat alone with shaking hands. You felt the old fear return, and knew this path would break you. The cost was too high to ignore, but then you remembered the lesson from the quiet. You prayed, thanked God for the hidden time, and waited. Isaiah 30:15 says, "In quietness and trust is your strength." The offer did not vanish. It became clear and respectful. You chose a new rhythm that keeps you steady. You start your day with silence, thanks, and one clear task. You keep a weekly day of rest where you do simple things and breathe. Before saying yes, you check if it fits your purpose and your peace. Here is the truth that holds you now. Your work flows from rest, not fear. Isolation was not punishment. It was preparation. You protect the quiet because that is where your strength begins. People gather around your true voice now. They do not come for hype. They come because they feel peace and clarity. You thank God for the lonely season, because purpose was born there, and it stays. Choose this rhythm today, and if the quiet comes again, you will welcome it with peace,